As I said, right, the in navigation hierarchies, administrator, resource, and profiles and target campaign management. These are the four major things. And this campaigns, workflows, plans, whatever we create, it should be under the campaign management. That's what the normal folder structure we need to follow. Okay. So if you want to create a plan, just click on this campaign management. Okay. Just a second. Just a second. Hey, what happened? Okay. Add new folder. And here also you need to go under campaign management. From here you can create a plan. Okay. So when I create a plan, okay, this is something, okay, it got created here. Let me add like this just for our data. But and always remember, so when you create a plan, okay, so a few things that you need to take in care. Firstly, okay, once you create a, go into the properties. Here you can use, you can see, right, okay, label that we given, but this internal folder something, internal name something, Adobe campaign given by the sequentially manner, okay, and it goes on incremental way. But this name doesn't make sense, and whenever we want to use this, whenever we want to move this folders from lower instance to upper instance, at that time it might also create a trouble. So always is suggested, whatever the label you give, as accordingly you can also give the internal name. Okay, and that internal name structure was also something following as a camel case sensitive. The initial ones comes in the lower, and the next words, okay, comes in the caps with the first word, and the rest will remain same. So what we someone follows this thing, so whoever the user working, right, okay, so for example, on the given instance there can be x number of users can work parallelly. So everyone, when they try to give the internal name, they provide their initial, that is very easy for identification purpose. Or in some cases client is also give some naming structure that we need to follow. So as per that, you need to give the name. The two things to remember: the first thing, the name should be unique, and second thing, it should be in a, it, the name should make sense. Okay, so that is easy for everyone. So once I did that, I created save. Okay, and yeah, few more options I want to show you. I can add this now. Yes. So yeah, the name is saved, and about these restrictions. Okay. So what I did, here your selection of the template. Adobe used to give us some of the templates by default. Okay. So whenever you want to create a template of the, whenever you want to create a campaign, or whenever you want to create a workflow, we need to take up the reference from the template. Okay. So that's where, you know, this template, that's how we need to select the template in this upper section in the beside this template. So you can take the reference of that template, and then you can edit that workflow and campaign as per your requirement. Okay. Okay. And the nature something we don't even select, that's also fine. And usually start date and end date, or we keep it in the current year starting date and current year, starting of this current year and end of this current year. But that doesn't impact our campaign anyway. But okay, still, ideally, that is what we need to select. And just a second. Okay. Today's date. Let's randomly select few things. Okay, I think somebody should be this template. Let's see how the template. Yeah, so it's just like let me check the template. Okay, I think okay, they made some modification on the template level. Usually, in the live instance, okay, we have only the template that are predefined template that we have in place. But here I don't know. And we need to check the templates in this under the resource section. Yeah, I think okay. They made something with template. Yeah. Let's try with this.
So this is what the delivery is, right?
No, this is template. This is template.
This
So
is
once
just within the marketing campaign. Sorry, yeah, marketing plan and then program and then
yeah.
the template.
Okay. So okay, I will check this. Okay, what exactly the problem? But okay, this is how we need to create a campaign. That as I already explained yesterday, right? Okay. So in the plan, first the plan comes, then program comes, and in the program, we need to create a campaign here. So let's see. Let's go into some of the campaign that earlier someone created. Let's take a reference of that. Mhm. Okay. So as for as for just for knowledge, we can take the reference for this. Okay. And that campaign creation, I will see which template exactly we need to use, and accordingly we can create a campaign. I will show that. Okay. But once we create a campaign, it's something it will show us like here. Okay, just let me open this. So this is our campaign, and okay, this is what we are trying to achieve. This is the label that we are trying to give, and schedule start date and end date. Okay, that is given in the advanced parameters. Yeah, these are like few things on the campaign level, as well as in the delivery level we can do about the approvals. Okay. So before sending out the particular delivery touch points in that particular workflow, we need to gather some approvals. So once we receive that approvals, then only that campaign will get executed. So basically there are like major important one is approvals are target and content approval. So that usually we used to map before sending out the campaign, but that we do on the delivery level. But this option also available on the campaign level, just for the reference. And then the control population, if you want, the concept of control, right? Kaustubh?
No, like
So
control. No.
control, for example, so we are actually targeting 100 records. Okay. And the business wants to know like whether this campaign actually add any value to their business or not. And in
Okay.
order to check that, so what they do, they will send out the customer this campaign to firstly 10 records, and it also send it don't send the campaigns to the rest of the records. And they are actually so for example, uh, our total 100 records are eligible to receive this campaign. So they send this campaigns to the 90 records, and the rest of the 10 records they haven't sent out any communication. And they want to see the ones who receive this communication, how exactly they are performing, and with the ones we haven't shared any communication, like does they how exactly they are performing. Like if the performance is not to the level that client expect, then client can get an they can make a point out of it, right? Okay, it doesn't make any sense to send out this campaign. Even without sending also, we are receiving almost the same kind of a business. So in order to cross check those scenarios, usually control groups comes into picture. Okay. So yeah, so
Like
just more.
if they execute the campaign,
Mhm.
and then if to check the value of, like, if it
If their
adds.
email content, whatever they're sending, does they are actually making any conversions or not?
Yeah.
If they are
And
making conversions, okay,
uh-huh.
then we also check in what percent of the customers are converting with or control group. If the control group percent and the communication that should be sent out to the audience, if the percent of conversion is almost same, then ideally even if you don't send out the campaign, that doesn't make that different, right? They must have saved the cost and all. So just to achieve this business requirement, this control groups comes into picture.
And what does this control group do?
Yeah, this control group, it eliminate the percent of records that we want to
In control.
we don't want to send out. Okay.
Okay, nice.
Like this. That I will we can add this control groups, or we can define basically which are the targets we want to take out, and on what percent of the records we want to take out. That all things we can do it. Yeah. But just as of now, keep this in mind. Just we need control group is the set of a record that we are not sending any campaign. And
Okay.
third one is seed address. Okay. So seed address is also important concept. So for example, you made a workflow live. Okay. And the workflow is in live state. And but how do you know like whether that campaign shoot out on that particular executed time or not. Okay, so we need to check, right? And ideally we are not eligible. Okay, while doing for testing, we can do the testing on our records, right? But when our actually campaigns are running, okay, you won't be eligible in those records, and still you want to check like whether the campaign is executing as expected or not. So in order to check that, there's a concept called seed address. So basically in the seed address, we are adding the set of the records that are present in that are our business records or can be our internal records in this campaign. If we import the seed addresses, so along with campaign live data, it will also send out the communications to the seed addresses. So basically seed addresses are used to check whether the campaign get deployed on time and the content in the campaign is deploying as expected manner. Okay, sometimes there can be an alignment issue, sometimes we need to check whether the personalization is happening properly or not, right? If in the mail, for example, say dear Kaustubh, okay, and it will say XYZ content, we need to check the personal personalization was happening is correctly as expected
This
or
is like a test email, is it?
this is a test email, but we are adding this in the live deliveries.
Yeah, and then um just to check if they are being delivered on time and also with personalization, we just go here.
Yes,
So this is just like adding test email addresses into the
that
database.
that's right. Adding a test email means or internal email addresses or can be business email addresses in our what we say in our live batch data. So this question is very commonly asked. Okay, please just try to have these words in mind. Okay, what they will ask, what is the seed addresses and how you want to check the campaigns are going live after making live in automated campaigns. Okay, so at that time you can add like you can say we can add our records in seed addresses and we can import the seed addresses in the delivery before making it live. Then whenever the
So like, but you said like this is on live campaign.
yes.
Like how to test before you send out this to
Ah,
the
so
whole audience.
at that time there is multiple ways you can send out. Okay, you can create a test records. Okay, so for example, you can create your own email ID records, and
Mhm.
as per that, you can just test it on the template that you are planning to make live before sending out.
Okay, so you go to properties, go to seed address, add those email addresses in there, and then test it, and then
No. For testing purpose, because any which way there's going to be our internal IDs, right? We can
yes,
add them in our query too, right? We can
yes.
add them in our query, and once if it is in proper dimension, we
Hmm.
can add the delivery
Hmm.
and we can send out, right? Because this records only this whatever the batch we are doing internal testing, right? Okay, just all we want to for example. mm, just okay, I'm giving an example, maybe my record was not there. Okay,
Mhm.
so you can add your record like this. Okay, and whoever eligible, okay, they will come and you can deploy the delivery, right?
Yes.
Plus
Okay.
this thing only you can do till the time of delivery. Okay, till the time of testing. So once you're done with the testing, right? So
Mm-hmm.
once we're done with the testing, then how you can check whether the whatever the live data that we're sending out, it is going on time and the personalizations and
Okay.
everything.
So this is testing after the campaign is live. See that.
Yes, testing means we can say it as a precautionary measure, or you
Yeah.
can say that yeah, just you want
Confirmation.
to see
Confirm.
yeah, whatever things we tested, whatever things we made live, it's on point. Okay, in order to test that, you got it. But yeah, I got your question. You said, but we don't actually use the seed addresses for testing internally. We can directly, take up the query and we can directly use our internal email ID and we can send it out. Okay, that's how we can do.
I see.
Okay, and what is the yeah, this approvals as I already said, and yeah, this job execution, yeah. So these are like priority that we need to do. So whenever like multiple workflows are running at the same time, so we need to give the priority to this workflow, like this campaign, like in which priority this campaign. If there are like 3 workflows running parallelly, 2 workflows are on medium priority and 1 workflow is on high priority, then the one with the high priority will be executed firstly, and then the one with the lower priority.
What is like workflows and then message preparation?
Yes. So now, okay, so we were inside the campaign, right? And we see in this dashboard, edit, and okay, and this is a third tab. Okay, I mean to say, we are in the program, and there we created a campaign, and in the campaign we have a third tab, so that is targeting and workflow. So this is where exactly we need to create a, this is called as a canvas for creation of workflows. So this is where we created a workflows as per the customers logics, and different touch points are in place, and different logic creations, everything were done on this side. Okay, so this is where we create the workflow and make them live.
I see.
Okay, so as we said, right, okay, just now we are here, just let's do this activity too. Okay, so what I did, right, okay, I do not enable it. Okay, so there are like 3 options we have for our for our convenience. There's firstly normal execution. Okay, when we say normal execution, then this particular activity will execute as expected. But sometimes for testing purpose, we don't want to actually make them. We need to pause few workflows, and we need to check the transition up to some activities. So in that case, we can use this enable but do not execute option. Okay, so by using this particular activity won't get executed. Whenever I start it, only this activity will get executed. This and this activity will get executed. And third one is do not enable. So do not enable, it means stop. Okay, the transition will get stopped once it will come, it will reach till this activity.
Okay.
Okay, so just these are very what do you say initial things that we need to do before going ahead and creation of workflows. Okay, and these things will come in handy when actually you're doing the testing for the first time, or when you normally do the testing. You want to check how exactly the data is eligible, which customers are coming out as in the transition and all. At that time you can do that. Okay. Yeah. So, and second thing, so now we know, right, how to create a campaign workflow. Okay, let me create a one test workflow for your case. Okay. Okay, I saved it. This is a test workflow I created. Always remember, whenever we save, click on refresh, and then only you can access it. Okay, sometimes when you actually created the first time and you directly make a changes without saving and refreshing it, sometimes there can be some conflicts matter as. Okay, so in order to avoid such cases, just create it. Okay, just let's try to make edits in this section. Okay, so I deleted the activities I created here. Okay, so this is our campaign. So in the campaign, so as I said, okay, just again, campaign also divided into 3 different portions. Okay, the first portion here is we have the number of workflows present in the campaign. And these all are the different list of activities that are present, and this list of activities might vary with the client to client. Okay, because there are some paid modules are also present from the Adobe campaign, where they used to provide as per their subscription. Okay. So this number of activities might vary with the client to client, but these are like very few common activities that is important for creation of workflows. Okay, this query, read list, union, intersection, exclusion, split cells. Okay, and the second one. Okay, first section is called as targeting section, because the name itself suggesting we are actually taking up the target audience by using these activities. Okay. So we are basically polishing the target audience. We are like excluding some target audience, or we're including some target audience. It's basically deals with the preparation of the data that we need to send up. Okay, that's why these are all activities are placed on the targeting. And second one is the deliveries. Okay, basically it deals with the touch points that we are using while setting out the sending out this audience. Can be email, SMS, most importantly email delivery, and push notification. Push notifications will also get divided into two, Android and iOS, as per the OS, right? Android users and iOS users. And third one is the flow control. So basically it acting as joining points between the dots of our activities. Okay, through which we can logically build our workflow. Okay, there were some cases where you want to add up the two activities. Okay, we want to make the transition to flow in some sequential manner.
So like operators.
Yes, operator. So I mean to say, just to give an example. Okay, so we have one query here. We have other query here. Okay, and we have a union here. Okay, and we have an end operator here. Okay, so and one more thing, we have one more. Okay, just observe what I'm doing. Okay. So now we have this workflow request. So now just imagine if we don't have this fork activity. Okay, if we don't have this fork activity, so what exactly these activities will do? I will also give you the one-line explanation. I think today you have one thing, right? Okay, just let me also explain in one-liner, so it will come stand. Okay, so what exactly these workflows always execute from left to right. Okay, so when we actually hit on a start, okay, the start will get executed, and then when it comes into this fork activity. So what fork it used to do? So whatever the input transition will get, okay, it will get divided into three different transition, and it will gives the signal to the next activity. So the single start activity gives us three transition and make this three queries to run. Okay. So once this, for example, this query 1 and query 2 will run. Okay, and we have some concept campaign logic that we need to union them, and whatever the union comes up, we need to exclude this query 3 records. Sorry, we need to, instead of intersection, you can use exclusion. Okay, so we need to exclude this query 3 out of this 2, and we need to whatever the end we have, we we can just I ended here. Maybe we can also use the delivery and we can send out the communication, right? So here I use this, this fork and this fork activity and this start. Basically, it is managing this workflow. Okay, which activity will execute first? Okay, because the campaign transition always goes from left to right, right? Okay, so firstly, this exclusion won't execute. Won't execute. Okay, it will wait for these three activities to get finished. Okay, and even query 3 gives us the result. Once we even query 1 and query 2 will get result, but it will wait. It will wait till it receive the transitions from this fork, in this fork. Okay, why so? Because this exclusion have a two input transition, right? One
Yes.
from query 3 and one for 4. Okay, it won't execute until and unless we receive this two transition. So when this two transition will receive, once this both queries execute and their union activity will get execute, and when that particular transition comes up into the fork, then fork gives her the transition to the exclusion. Till that time, query 3 will wait, and means query 3 execute, but that outbound transition will wait. And once it receives this two transition inputs, then it will execute and it will give you the end result. Okay, so basically this all things control the flow of the workflow. This fork, this and this start, this end, the schedulers. Okay, that's the reason we call it as a flow controls. Okay, and just okay, on the flow control level, maybe a question can ask. Okay, so what exactly we want to start in a workflow B once the workflow A got executed, how we can do? I mean to say,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, okay, you know that, right?
Yeah.
I think I said that. With the help of signal, you can do that. So what you do in the end activity, you need to give a post event. Okay, there's a post event of post event command was there. So once you give the post event by mentioning the workflow that you want to trigger, just explain like this. Okay, in the advanced extra, we need to give the post event command. So once this workflow got execute, then it triggers the workflow that you want, that a workflow be. I think I explained it earlier, right?
Yeah, but like there is external signal, is that the one?
Yes. So all you need here is external signal.
Okay, so external signal is the code that we have put in the end.
Yes. So external signal basically comes with the label. Okay. So here the code won't lie. Code lie here in this test. Okay. In the workflow that we are triggering first. Okay. So just wait. Every time.
So what is the difference between like fork and sub?
Okay, so they both are different, at all different. So in the fork, basically what is due, you know, it collecting, it's from the single transition, it gives us the multiple transition. Okay, so for example, if the single transition comes up, okay, and it gives us the multiple transitions, right? In the sub workflow, we can create a different workflow in the same canvas. Okay, so basically sub workflows that we use in order to make this workflow way more readable. This is very small workflow. Okay, even sometimes there's a workflow you come across. Okay, there is where like n number of activities are present and lot of these transitions are crisscrossing. Okay, that makes it very difficult for a client or business user to read it. Okay, in order to improve the readability, we also use the concept of sub workflow. So basically, sub workflow add up the huge chunk of activities in a different workflow, and that will execute as per the execution of this main workflow.
Okay.
And that option like very rarely use someone. Did someone ask you that question? Because it is very rarely used. Most of the time, okay, they only go with this signal activity, which that's how the requirement comes up. Okay.
Okay, no worries, no worries.
Okay, and yeah, so yeah, as I was saying, right, just this in the external signal only we need to give the name. Okay, this is the label, right? Yeah, this is the name that we need to trigger, and here we don't need to add any code. Okay, the code that we need to add here, the post event command here, by referring to the name of the signal activity that we need to create. Okay, so whenever someone asks you about that the signal activity, you can say that in that end of that workflow we can add the post event in the end activity or the last activity, and it will automatically trigger the next one.
Okay.
And so now what next? So, yeah, let me, so we are here, just let's try to add one profile also as said, right? Okay, we can create a profile. So as said, there's a two ways from where we can create we can add a profile. Firstly, from this home that I explained you yesterday, right? This is our different options we have. So inside, just go to the home, just click on the profiles and target, and here you need to select recipient if it is not selected already. From here you can add a profile, or we have in the folder hierarchies all profiles and targets and recipients folder we have in place. Okay, and as per your requirement, okay, in any of the recipients you can any of the folder that you create, you can simply add a record from here. Okay, so let's add it. Let's try to add it from here. So what are the parameters that are very crucial for adding is email ID. So first let's add email ID. Okay, and then first name, last name, and this all are like very basic thing. If you want to add, then you can, or else you don't want to add, then it's fine. Okay. And so once we add that, here the address line, okay, so you can take up the any address randomly. Just we try to add few lines. Okay, it is not valid. This all comes, okay, because okay, it's this sandbox, that the reason, okay, this all things are not validated, but in the normal instance this will definitely incompatible. Okay, and okay, these are the okay, let's yeah, so now we created this is the search option we have in place through which we can search the profile. You can see, right? This creates under profiles and target. Okay, my records are created. So now we created the record. Let me try to run our first workflow. So all I was doing, I'm adding the filtering condition. I'm filtering on the basis of mail ID. Okay, finish. I save. Right. You're able to see, right?
Yes.
One record is coming up. Okay. So if you want to see the record, you need to click on this transition, right click, display the target. You can see, yeah, this is my record. And if you want to configure and you want to check some more things about it, okay, what is the first name given, what is the last name of this record, you can select those records, okay, and click on okay, and you can see. Okay, so this is all. You can create the profile for the testing purpose, because you're most of the time you might be doing the testing on your record, right? So that's what you need to do. So before doing for the testing, you need to create that in the profile section, and whatever as per the logic, yeah, you can proceed ahead and test it internally, and once you're satisfied with, then go ahead and make it live. Yeah, so till here, any questions, Oscar? You can ask. And you're clear with that program creation, camp creation, and workflow creation?
No questions in that. Just like so you said you put Mumbai in the address, but it said, do you want to create enumerations?
Yes.
Like what is enumerations like?
Yeah, so enumeration basically, okay, they in the data type, okay, when we're creating a schema in the data type, there's a column called as enumerations. Okay, so basically enumerations will give us for to see to the user, there's a one value is coming in the backend, there's a different value which actually gets stored. Okay, and when there's a one more use case about it. For example, you can see here, right, in the gender there are three enum values. Means in this particular gender field, either it can be non-specified, it can be male, it can be female. Because I entered something else, okay, so like in the previous example, I entered Mumbai, it was not present. So that's the case, it was asking us if we can create that image. So if we create it, so from next time onward, whenever we enter Mumbai, it will auto detect and it will take that value.
Okay.
So basically predefined values present in the schema that gives us the reference. Okay, so for example, when you actually want to enter some values in gender, it will give you the options. Okay, either it can be one out of these three values, and these three values are already defined on the database level, in the schema level. Okay, so that's how it will get stored. So, and by the way, this is a form itself. Yesterday was said, right, there is in the recipient, okay, in this configuration, let me show you, in the administration configurations, we have an option for the forms. This is the forms. Okay,
yes.
So if you see here we are actually also dealing with the form only. That's how we are entering the data, right? So form is nothing but database entering, you can say, option where we can enter a new records, or we can edit the existing records, and it provides the user friendliness to the client. Okay, that's why the form is used, and it is also rare, like client asks you to create a form, but it's always good to know to have a form in place, because every time you want to enter a record, uh, you don't actually do that through the data loading or not. For this recipient schema, this form was already something created with Adobe Send, but usually for the custom schemas that we develop, for that forms won't be available, and that, so for that we are the ones responsible to create the forms, to give the clients that accessibility.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's the reason. Okay, if you look at it, I can now make the changes also. Just all I need to make the changes, save it in the back end in the recipient level. So I made the changes. Okay, if I rerun this again, I remove my last name, right? So when it get finished, previously in the result we have seen my email ID along with my first name and last name, right? So now if I configure this list, I'm not seeing my last name because I made the changes.
Hmm.
So this forms gives that user friendliness. Okay.
Okay.
So any questions, Kaustubh?
Like if you go into campaign,
Mm-hmm.
can you explain the targeting, like all the
Okay, this one. Yeah, okay, in one line I will explain. In detail, definitely I will go, but at least for your reference for today, maybe I'll explain. Okay.
like for
So
because like okay, if we are going into that detail, we can do it on another day.
mhm.
But if
Yeah, I will tell you. I will call Kaustubh. I will tell you which are the
so
activities are important and which are the activities mostly the question comes up. Okay.
okay, so as of right now, because I have an interview today,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
and it's like a second round with the manager. So what do you think like would be the best?
Uh, so,
We
Kaustubh, if it is with the manager round now, so I don't think so. They will go for the technical. Okay.
yeah,
Because
technical, right?
yeah, they don't go for technical, but they will ask you about your experience, your past experience, what
Uh-huh.
kind of a task that you did, and they will check how flexible you are, and they will check like mostly how early you can join. Okay, and what the kind of a projects that you worked on. Okay, just I was saying, prepare on the projects that you worked till now, whatever you mentioned in your CV, right? So what
Yes.
kind of a task you did, what are the roles and responsibilities you handled, just go preparing that. Okay.
And like in terms of like technical questions in
Technical questions, I don't think so they will ask. If they will ask, then only they will ask, what kind of use cases that you handled in your project. Okay. Like, okay, what was your daily roles and responsibilities, okay,
Mm,
in your role. So these are the very common questions that you will come across in your next one. Because it is managerial round, that's what I was saying. So if you're saying it's a techno managerial round, then maybe they will ask you, they will
yeah, it is
give,
a it's they said it is a technical round as well.
is a technical round as well. Then in that case, maybe they will give you a use case in some cases, and they will ask you, for example, they want you to develop a technical workflow. So what kind of a workflow, what kind of activities you can use? Okay.
Mm,
So yeah, in the case of technical workflow, you can, okay, as I said, right, technical workflow is basically the workflow that keeps or instance clean. So the kind of activities that normally used in technical workflow is uh, uh, query activity, and then exclusions, and update data activity, either to delete or either to update. Okay. And because it runs on a daily basis, scheduler you need to use. Okay. So, but I don't think so. Don't take that that much load, customer, because they might be saying it's a techno manager, but mostly it's going to be very generic questions. Okay. They are very rarely managerial round, they will ask you the questions in that detail. With my experience, I'm saying,
Okay.
go and be prepared with the project that you work. Okay. And whatever the projects you work in, right? Okay, just try to be in a good shape to explain them. And be confident. That's important. Okay.
Okay, sure.
And don't worry, you will get through it. Okay.
Yeah, like
Who is the manager?
I don't know. I think let me just check. Just a minute. Chakravarti BR2.
Chakravarti BR2.
Pranjali Upadhyay with Chakravarti BR2.
Okay, need to check that. Let's see. You go on, maybe tomorrow anyways will connect, right?
Yes.
First, okay, try to prepare that, okay? And saying about this project that you work, okay? Just try to, whenever someone asks, maybe try to, explain the things that you did in fabulously, okay? That's how you need to present.
Sure. One more thing is like event types. Can you briefly touch base on that?
Event types?
Event types.
Yeah. So basically, okay, the event types, as I said, right, we need to use that for sending out the real-time messages. Okay, there's an event type that we need to create, and that we need to make it associate a template to it. And basically, okay, we just let me try to show you.
So they said in terms of like actions that are taking place in the website, those events.
In the website?
Yeah, like clicking on a button, filling out a form, uploading a picture, stuff like that. So this event and rules and steps that should be triggered at different event types.
Yeah, so I think that's more or like JS point of view, right? On the
I found this in the Adobe Campaign documentation.
Okay.
Event types, they asked about like event types. So okay, so and one more is message center.
Yes.
So if you can just touch base on message center.
Yeah. So message center, that's basically that module is used to send out the real-time communications. Okay. So with the message center, there is a totally different instance that was in place. Okay. For example, now we are using this for to sending out the batch events. Okay. So in the message center, that us majorly using to send out the real-time events type. And for that that instance access, majorly we don't have to we don't have that access to assume that. But in order to connect to that instance, we have the external accounts in place, and we need to create an event types. Okay. And as I said, right, this we need to create a template, and we need to assign an event type to that particular template. And whenever that particular event type will get triggered in the website, okay, as I said, in call to action button, okay, they might be pass this or event type that we create. So whenever the call to action got played, then whatever the template associated with our event type will get triggered out, and customer will end up receiving the communication in real-time basis. Okay. Just if they ask you about have you worked on message center, then you say on the message center on this part I work, because if you go in detail, then you will maybe end up fumbling, and maybe they will catch you like you don't work actually, but majority of the developers, majority of the Adobe Campaign managers are work on this part. Okay, maybe you can say
Which
that
part? Sorry, message part or message center?
in the enumeration. Okay, you said, okay, on the message center part, okay, there's a different team was handling the actually configuring the event type, but my part was like, to create a template and to create a event type and map that template with the event type, and I used to pass this event type to that other team, so they will use to configure from their end. That's what you can say.
But what can you do in message center?
Yeah.
Can do it.
Yeah, that's what saying. Message center is we are used to send out the real time communication. There's a different, as I said, right? Okay, there's a different model present in Adobe Campaign, and as per the their configurations, as per their documentation, they map this. They providing you the different models. And message center is the model that was using to send out the real time communications.
Hello?
Yeah, hello. Rakesh, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
So then what is SMS, email, and message center like?
Sorry, I went. Can you just repeat that one more time?
Communication.
Hello.
Sorry?
Yeah. Can you,
Yeah, hello, can
repeat that? What you said?
So, message center, you said real-time communication, right?
Mm-hmm.
But SMS and email are also real-time communication.
Yeah. So real time can be both email and SMS. Okay. So business center itself deal with both email and SMS can happen in batch way, and also with real time way also. So as a message center, something deal with both. SMS sending out the SMS and sending out the email, but mostly it used for sending out the emails. Okay, but yeah, very rarely they use they use for sending out the what we say SMS.
Can you go into that module, like to the left section? I can see message center in there.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Can you like go into the message center module?
Yeah.
In the left section.
Yes. Yeah, this is the event that we are starting.
So this is where you can create transactional messaging templates, right?
Yeah, templates we can create here. Okay, and
you can like
okay. So for example, let me take a template. Okay. So for example, you create a template here. The properties, you can see a event type, right? Okay. This is something event type we need to create there in the
database.
Innovations part. I have said okay here.
Okay, and based on the event type, then these transaction message will
transaction message will get triggered. Okay. Just for time being, just keep these things in mind. Okay, don't get confused by taking a lot of things right now. Okay, so we will go in details about these things, but as of now, if they won't ask, if they ask, you can say, right, we create a template and we map the event type, okay, that we created, and okay, then as per the event type, it will get that template will get triggered.